Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Kathryn Dovey, and I'm based at the OECD in Paris, where I work on responsible business conduct. And more specifically, I manage the network of national contact points for responsible business conduct. I'm delighted to be able to deliver this message today on the occasion of the Responsible Business Forum in Ukraine. I'm sorry I can't be with you in person, but I wish all of you a successful and productive conference. Ukraine, of course, adhered to the OECD Declaration on International Investment and Multinational Enterprises in 2017, and from that point committed to the OECD standards on responsible business conduct. A total of 48 governments have made this same commitment to what we call the OECD Guidelines for Multinational Enterprises. These guidelines set out expectations by governments of companies, covering everything to do with sustainability, from human rights and labor rights, environment, to even taxation. So they are a truly comprehensive agreement. The guidelines were first adopted in 1976, and they've been revised 5 times since then. In 2011, a human rights chapter was added to the guidelines to ensure alignment with the UN guiding principles on business and human rights, in addition to several other important changes being made at that point. Within the OECD, our approach to responsible business conduct is really twofold. On the one hand, preventative, and on the other hand, problem solving. By preventative, what I mean is we've developed a series of sector-specific guidance documents for the business community which cover risk-based due diligence. So, for instance, this includes the garment sector, the agricultural sector, and minerals, and others. And then in June this year, we launched a general due diligence guidance, which speaks to all sectors, all companies, and provides practical support in plain language to help companies implement our guidelines. So that's on the preventative side. On the problem-solving side, here we really touch on one of the truly unique aspects of the OECD guidelines, and that is the Grievance Mechanism. All governments adhering to our guidelines must create what we call a national contact point for responsible business conduct. And this office is most often based within governments, but it can be independent from governments as well. Across the 48 countries, each of the national contact points, or NCPs, looks quite different, and you can visit their websites from the main OECD website. So what do NCPs do? Well, in plain language, they receive cases regarding company conduct under one or more of the guidelines chapters. And as I mentioned, in 2011, a human rights chapter was added, and since that point, we've seen that over 50% of the cases coming into NCPs have been about human rights issues. So it really is a critical mechanism in that sense. When a case is received by a national contact point, they will decide whether it meets the formal criteria for acceptance. If it does, they will offer both parties, so the submitter and the company, an opportunity to resolve the issue at stake. And the submitters can be anyone from non-governmental organizations, community groups, trade unions, individuals, etc. The mechanism is really open to anyone. So when this opportunity is offered by the NCP to resolve the problem, this can mean anything from formal mediation with a professional mediator, all the way through to dialogue or discussion. But ultimately, the NCP is the neutral party. Since the year 2000, when NCPs first began receiving cases, we've seen over 400 cases go through the system, covering a wide array of topics. And all of these cases are recorded in the OECD public database, so you can read them and the summaries and the outcomes there. So we're very much looking forward to continuing our work with the National Contact Point in Ukraine, which of course is a new NCP, as they work to develop their case handling expertise and to promote the guidelines and our guidance documents to business and other actors in society. NCPs are very important catalysts for responsible business conduct within and across governments and publicly, and they're also required to promote the guidelines in this way. So on that note, I'd like to wish all of you a very successful and enjoyable forum in Kiev, and I very much look forward to hearing the outcomes of your discussions and staying in touch on these matters. Thank you very much.